sure that you're using Google Classroom to your advantage, especially as we start moving into the next phases of speech class. So here is an example of a speech class Google Classroom, and this is the stream, and you guys are probably very comfortable with that. But if you ever want to see more of a post, you got to make sure that you click on it to be able to see everything that I'm sending you. Sometimes I even send you guys links, like link to the Zoom class, or other links to things like my website and Google Docs. But there's something else that I want to show you too. So this is the classwork section of Google Classroom. And on here, I have organized it so you will be able to see assignments, class resources, and major projects that are all on here. But I also want to let you know that if you are curious on whether or not you have turned something in, you can also see that here on Google Classroom based upon what the icon looks like. So for instance, the survey results for this student have been turned in because the icon is now kind of a muted color. But the contact information Google form has not been turned in. And so you'll see that that particular icon is darker. I also want to talk to you guys just very quickly about your speech class Google Drive folder, because some of you haven't turned in that link yet. And so I want to show you how to go about doing that before it negatively affects your grade. So if you go to your Google Drive and you click on the 3 dots of your speech class Google Drive folder, and you make sure that the link sharing is on. Actually, that's where most people actually make a mistake. They just hit copy link, and that that doesn't mean that now I can see it. It just means you copied the link. So you're going to want to click on the 3 dots, make sure link sharing off is actually turned on. And once you do that, you can see here, the link will be shared in your clipboard. And so you just go to Google Classroom and you paste your Google link, your Google speech class Google Drive folder link, and you can turn it in. Now there's some other things on Google Classroom under classwork that should really help you through our next units. And so I'm just going to start scrolling up here, and you're going to see that things like for the the capstone learning experience, the slides are on there, the link to the parent homework is on there, and all the PDF packets that correspond with not only the job shadowing experience, but the capstone learning experience. Now with that being said, the application for the capstone learning experience was previously due on September 11th, but I extended the due date to the 25th. And the reason why is because some of you didn't have a mentor lined up yet. And so I extended the due date so then that way, as soon as you find a mentor, you can turn in the document that corresponds with this assignment. Once you find your mentor, you're either going to want to use your paper copy of the packet and fill it out and pin and take a picture of it and upload it to this assignment, or you're going to want to click on the PDF attachment, click on the pencil, go to page number 7, use the editing tools for the PDF editing, hit save, X out of it, go to your work, and turn in the edited version of the PDF. Now, another area of Google Classroom that's going to be really important to our next steps is going to be the tell me a little bit about yourself section in the classwork section of Google Classroom. And so you're going to see things like the checklist or the expectations and rubric, the Google Drive folder, the class website access. But there's 2 things on here that I want to talk to you about. One is the checklist. So the checklist is going to be something that you will be completing and then turning it in. Again, just like the application for the capstone learning experience, you can click on the attachment, use the editing section or the editing feature for Google Classroom and check the things off that you're doing. And then when you hit save, after you're done with the checklist, and you X out of there and go to your work, it will be saved in here, and all you have to do is turn it in. Now, we are going to be signing up for your speech in class here in just a couple of minutes, but the day that you present your speech, I'm going to be using the Tell Me a Little Bit About Yourself rubric. So that means that you don't do anything with this rubric, right? Because you can't fill any of this out, but it's going to give you your pre-test score out of 115, and I'm going to be able to give you the grade that goes into the grade book, which is 55 points. So now that you guys are done with this warm-up video, if there's anything that you feel like, oh my goodness, I need to go check in on that, or I still need to do that, give yourself a couple of minutes to go back to your Google Classroom and make sure that you've gotten things done. And then we better get ready, because it's going to be time to sign up for the Tell Me a Little Bit About Yourself speech and learn a little bit more about that.